I was 13, he was 14. His stepsister, Michelle, was a friend of mine. And so we dated until Valentine's Day when he broke my heart because he said I was too good of a girl. So for 30 years off and on, but it was always one of us was married when the other one was single. So it went on for 30 years until 5 years ago we got married, finally, during COVID.
She is just the kindest, most caring person I've ever met. She would give the shirt off her back to anybody. She has the purest heart.
We love to travel and do things that we haven't ever done before, take on new adventures when we travel. We were getting ready to go to Myrtle Beach to my best friend's wedding, and we went to a restaurant for a lunch date, and suddenly this arm wasn't controllable by me anymore. It started kind of doing its own thing. And I had a terrible headache. My head hurt. So somehow I made it to our bedroom and sat down in the recliner. I kept telling Jason that my head hurt. I had a migraine. Just let me get to the bed. I just need to lay on the bed. My head just hurt so bad. And it was only on the right side. My head just was killing me. And I remember him calling 911 and hearing him say, my wife's having a stroke.
When Ms. Waters came to the emergency department, she was having difficulty moving the left side of her body and understanding the left side of her world, which are pretty typical symptoms when we have a blockage of the artery that goes to the right side of the brain. These symptoms are likely, or were likely, going to become permanent and lead her to be wheelchair-bound or bed-bound for the rest of her life.
I honestly thought I wasn't ever gonna see her again because we was everything. That's one thing I can say about it. When we came into the emergency room, everything went so fast.
And I explained the procedure to her. We would take her back to the operating room. She would go to sleep under general anesthesia, so she wouldn't feel or remember anything. And from there, we just did a small puncture on the right side of her groin and access that area with a 2-millimeter tube, a very, very small tube that we carefully navigated all the way up from the groin to where the clot is in the brain. At that point, we suctioned out the clot and we were done with the procedure in about 20 minutes. When these clots happen and blood flow is limited to an area of the brain, the risk is for permanent damage of that area. In her case, the damage would have led to paralysis of the left side and the inability to walk on her own and take care of her own daily business independently.
He come out that day and, when he got the clot out, he come out and showed me the images on her phone. And he showed me the first one and it was blank. I said, there's nothing there. He said, exactly right. He said, that's how much blood was going to her head. And then the next one was all lit up with all the blood vessels and everything. He said, this is after I got the clot. I'm like, well, how's she living? He's like, I'm not sure. He said, that's just how lucky we got. He said, if you ask me, he said it was a matter of minutes to save her life.
What we offer with this program is the ability to get to our patients quickly and with cutting-edge technology that is similar or superior than in other centers. The idea is to minimize the amount of time that the patient has to wait before receiving emergent life-saving procedures. So when we are able to offer this procedure in Rome, this saves about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that were previously used to transport the patient to Chattanooga or Atlanta. And by doing so, we have improved their outcomes dramatically.
I know how lucky I was because being a nurse, I had patients that were, even if I was family practice, that had had strokes and they don't have, use of their limbs or, it could have been so much worse, but I know that I would have never made it 24 hours the way I was because there was no blood flow at all to my brain and I would not have made it. I could be dead. They thought that that's what would happen and I'm not. I'm here and God has a plan and a purpose for me and this is just part of His plan.
I feel like in the 5 years we've been together, we've been through a lifetime of ups and downs, and we fought hard through the 5 years, And we've been through a lifetime's worth in it, but I hope we get 20 more. And if we have to fight downs for 20 more years, I hope we still get them. I'll fight every minute of them. That's what it takes.